order. Elenas, you're absolutely right, but you do also know, as David was trying to allude to, that if 2 member states in the European family object, then a new member can't come in. And it's very, very clear that Greece has stated that they will object unless Cyprus is. And of course the second state which would then fall behind Greece, if there was no other, would be Cyprus. So they know that. They know what the negotiations are about, and they couldn't come in. But I think you're absolutely right to say today, this government has got to keep saying it over and over again, that they will not be a party to any entry unless 2 things. One is Cyprus to sort out, and then some of the other standards that we in Europe have to sign up to, they've got to do exactly the same. The chap here, you're right, it's about legal obligations, but they are very, very clear in international terms that they will not meet that. We as a guarantor power, I feel that we have totally lacked fulfilling our own obligation, because as you know, under the Cyprus Act 1961, eventually it ended up as 1964, bound within that are certain guarantees which are given to the Cyprus nation, Republic of Cyprus, and we have failed. And you know, we have failed, and we're hidden behind the fact that there are guarantor powers and we're one of the 3. I mean, the reality is that we haven't. And you know what's disgraceful about it? We've done it at a period of time. Let's just go back to the missing people, 1,600, whatever it is. Over 400 of those are either British citizens or the relatives of British citizens. So we haven't even done it for our own, let alone, you know, people who aren't members. But you're right that we have to do that. Aliki, you're right, it is about Cypriots for Cypriots and forming that out, but we can't. We've got to keep saying that over and over and over again, which we do in the Council of Europe and in this place. But the reality is, you know, that governments are, I mean, the government of the north, the illegal government of the north, is directed by Turkey and from Ankara and from Istanbul. That is a reality. And the international desk, you know, in Britain and our foreign service knows that. So they talk to that about that all the time. And you know, they have got to be saying to them over and over again, they've got to stop interfering in the Cyprus process altogether. I mean, I meet Turkish Cypriots fairly regularly now in this country, and Kurds also, who talk to me about Turkey, and they want them out of the north of Cyprus. Turkish Cypriots want Turkey out of north of Cyprus because they want that country back, and they want to come back to their neighbours, and they want to re-access their own properties, which they can't do at the present time. So we've got to keep saying Cypriot, Cypriot, Cypriot. But at the same time, we've got to do what Elenas has said. You know, we've got to say to Turkey, you know, you cannot get away with it, and we're not going to allow you to get away with it.
Thank you very much.
I'm
sorry?
Last one question. In other words, at what point do we wait? Does Turkey get their accession before a solution? At what point is the moment there is a solution, Turkey gets accession? In other words, do they get away with this until the last moment?
Let me just leave it, because it goes to that. Tom is here. Council of Europe, which Cyprus is a member of, and I am a member of, the 47 states of Europe. Turkey is also a member of that. We have said it, the Council of Europe is about human rights and the rule of law. We've allowed, because the Republic of Cyprus government asked us to, 2 observers from the north of the island, Turkish observers, to come and attend all of those. But on every occasion when they're at committees, they're actually told that they're there only as observers, and there's no rights, there is no recognition whatsoever on that. Because the only reason we have done it is because we're trying to get the citizens of Cyprus to be seen to be talking and negotiating with each other at committees in Europe.
Thank you. I'm just going to take one final question that I've already seen from Minas Mina at the end. Thank you.
Mr. President, much has been made of the issue of the missing Cypriots tonight, and I think I should take the opportunity on behalf of the relatives of the missing Cypriots to say something to our friend the MPs here. I really cannot find words strong and warm enough to express how much gratitude we, the relatives of the missing Cypriots, feel to people like Alan Meale and to Tom Cox and to David and to many others, but especially to Alan Meale, for whom I can say that if all the politicians of Europe were like Alan Meale, not just the streets of Europe would be a bed of roses, but I dare say the streets of the whole world would be a bed of roses to walk on. And we are very grateful to him for his decades-long support for the issue of the missing people of Cyprus. Now, the issue of the missing people of Cyprus is a very complicated one. Turkey is not meeting its obligations that emanate from Court of European Human Rights decision. And why is Turkey doing that? Because Turkey has enjoyed in recent years unprecedented support and unprecedented recognition of its views and policies relative to Cyprus, but relative to wider issues as well. I recognize there are 5, 6 units, I think, working in Cyprus now, investigating units. Units on exhumations, both in the occupied territories and the free territories. But I'm afraid that's very little. It is very little and it is going very slowly. Turkey needs to initiate investigations, meaningful investigations, as the European Court of Human Rights requires it to do. Meaningful investigations to determine the fate of the missing Cypriots. Without that, I'm afraid we are going nowhere. And a final word of warning. This country, I am afraid, has become, over the past couple of decades at least, I would say, a servant of Turkish interests. And it is turning Europe also into a servant of Turkish interests. And I am afraid, if the politicians of this country and the politicians of Europe do not wake up soon, they will find themselves in 5, 10 years' time to be completely irrelevant. Europe is fast becoming irrelevant as an international political force. The aeroplanes of the Japanese and the Russians and the Chinese and the Indians, the Americans and the Brazilians will be stopping to Europe just for refueling. I am afraid. So please take that very seriously. Thank you very much.
Now, I did see Michael just now wanting to say something. Is there a burning question?
Very quick one. Thank you very much, all of you. What I saw very in common, all the speakers, is that they all agree that the time is ripe for the solution of the so-called Cyprus problem. We've heard all this before. What I would like to hear is what action are you going to take to make Turkey to common sense and solve the problem? Because in the past you say we exert pressure on Turkey. Obviously, either the pressure is not enough or it's not the right one, because we have not seen any solution yet. Thank you.
Can I offer